Jesus will make all things just for me. Jesus will. Good morning. Good morning.
As you were saying, brother.
I was saying that there is a lot that we could be talking about in the world right now, like coronavirus and stuff like that. But I think this is really it's Mother's Day, so I think we should take time this day to really focus on the mothers. You know, because I feel like the mothers don't get enough recognition or as much recognition as they should, which is not really a good thing because without mothers we wouldn't be here.
That is true.
And hopefully, this day could just be a day of ownership. That's the word, right?
No.
Well, a day where we honor the mothers in the world and let them know that we appreciate them for everything they do for us and stuff like that.
Hey, I was thinking of the times, when I was coming up with my mother and how she would always say, I want something for Mother's Day. I want something for Mother's Day. I want a gift from one of y'all. And we would always go to school, and you know how the teachers would make us do the macaroni plates and the hand prints and things. We would always do that. And like I could see it on her face, she would start to get tired of that because we were getting a little older now. So she was starting to get tired of it. So it was like, I don't know what you expected. Like, hey, we only 10, 11 years old. You can't expect no whole ring and necklaces and things, and we can't even get a whole job right now. We can't go out in the fields like it was back in the day. It just bring back memories of all the good times, even the bad times I have with my brothers and my mother, and just it makes me smile and just realize that a lot of people take mothers and females for granted. Period. Like they like to throw them away and think that they're not worth anything if they don't live up to either their parents' or the grandparents' standard or even their family namesake. But they don't realize the slightest thing could turn all the world, the whole world around. A lot of things I come to realize can change a female. Having a child can change a female. It changes their mindset to realize that for them it's not just about them anymore. It's now about them in another life. And I heard the one of the greatest things I ever heard was I was watching. I can't remember what show it was. I can't remember who said it, but I remember it being said. They was like, aren't you scared to have a child? And the lady was like, no, now I have the opportunity to keep another person alive. So with that being said, is like it's now my job to make sure this person goes in the right way. Even if and we all know a lot of fathers out there don't like to step up to the plate. And I'm not knocking those that do. I appreciate and applaud those that do. But we do have some fathers out there that don't like to step up to the plate, that don't like to honor and cherish what they do have. So we have to realize that a lot of these mothers or a lot of these single mothers or mothers even with husbands that are not in the church or in the child's life how they should be. A lot of fathers think that they're just because they're there, they're doing something. No, you have to actually be active in the child's life. And that's one thing I give mothers credit for, because even if the father's not there, they take up that second role of being that father. They take up that role of being that guidance that the child needs. And I grew up, like I said, I grew up with a single mom and three boys. I know it was hard on my mama to raise boys, all three boys, and you one female. How you know how hard it is to potty train a boy? And you a female, you can't teach him the right steps to how you need to be. But somehow, some way, my mom's got it done. I'm not saying that it was slack or some females that they can't get it done, but somehow, some way, mama got it done. So I'm appreciative of the fact that my mom never gave up on us, and shout out to all the mothers that cherish and realize that life changes with just a blink of an eye.
I agree. You know, mothers do a lot. You know, a lot for others. You know, I feel like mothers are like the backbone of the world, really, because they give birth like Mother Nature.
Yeah, the universal term, just like music.
Yeah, they give birth like they hold a power that like no man can hold. Like we can we don't have that ability to like give birth to babies. So I feel like that's pretty cool of them, you know, to do that and then still be like strong and powerful, maintaining like there's super moms in the world that's doing it like alone, like you're saying, like the dads that are there.
Amen.
You know, a lot of them have to raise their kids on their own, which I'm pretty sure is not easy. I wouldn't know, but um, you know, it's a lot that mothers have to do. Mothers wear a lot of hats because they have to, especially single mothers, because they have to be the mother, they have to cook, they have to clean, they have to do everything for this one individual, and then have time for themselves at the same time. So it's probably like really stressful. But I mean, I wouldn't know because I don't know how that works. But you know, I heard stories, watch movies.
And like I was saying, like we just said, a mother is a universal term. It's just like how music is. Music can always change your mood or uplift you. Mothers have that power to change your whole mood. You ever come in the house at the school one day, or just by saying calm down, it'll be okay. See, that's the power of a mother. They have that heart factor. That's why God said He made them in the image of His heart. He gave them the heart. That's that love. We can't get that love from anywhere else. And the reason why I say mothers are universal terms is because you think about it, anybody mother can step into those that never had one. You, I've seen movies where you got drug dealers and drug addicts. They come up and their mothers are prostitutes, or they like to just be out in the streets. They like to do drugs, and somebody else has to step in. And that's another thing. Shout out to those grandmothers out there, that are mothers. Even though your child may not be in the place, you stepped up and became that mother figure to the child that needed your help. And that's why I say it's a universal term. That's why I believe we have to get back to that village mentality. If you don't get back to that village mentality, you're trying to basically get rid of that mother's mind state. It's not. I believe if we had that village mentality and not this independent mentality that everybody else has, it would be a lot more easier on life in these kids that we have out here now. Because now I see a lot of children, they don't like to go to school. All they want to do is smoke weed and drink and party and do all that extra stuff. And it's like I'm just sitting there like, where's your mama at? Like, where's your parents? Not even your mother. Where's your parents? Where was the guidance at when you needed it? Like, who's supposed to be stepping in? But that's what happened when you break down the village, when you start taking the chiefs away one by one and taking all the squaws away one by one. When that village mentality is broken down, now your child is open, fair game to the world. And when you step into the world, we all know the world is constantly moving. So you step in and you're not ready, that world's gonna eat you up. And that's a mother's job. Like, a father's job is to guide you and get you where you need to be and provide for you. A mother's job is to love you and make sure you're doing the right thing. That's one thing I give credit to my mom. If anything, you can say whatever you want to about Wanda Lynn Jenkins. Wanda Lynn Jenkins made sure that we stayed on that path. We might not have all chose the right path, but we stayed on the right path. I can promise you, she never got that call in school saying that we just been going outrageous fool just for no reason. She might have got the call, but it wasn't on me. I can say that. I was smart. I learned to get away from the beatings, and that's the thing. It's all about the love with the mothers, and like I said, shout out to the mothers for that love. Because if you didn't give that love, we wouldn't be here right now. If your mother never gave you the love that she owed you or that God put in her to give you, you would not be sitting right here on this broadcast right now. I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I wouldn't have three beautiful kids and a wife if my mother didn't teach me these things, how to treat a lady.
I mean, mothers teach us things that like mother is like our teacher. Like our father, he is important to us. He's supposed to like well, I can speak for guys because I'm trying to be general, but I speak for guys. Our father is supposed to lead us and how and tell us what it's supposed to tell us what we're supposed to do as a man.
Amen.
Right? And then our mother is supposed to be the one to nurture us and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
if you don't have like a mother figure in your life, then it's like you're missing. I want to say
Big chunk.
like your sensitive side, but I don't want to be like too sensitive. Like you're missing your sense of sensitivity.
Everybody is sensitive. I don't care how gangster you may be. Everybody is sensitive. I promise you. If your most gangsters are raised by their grandmothers. If they were to come in and their grandmother was to step in the room right now, watch how quickly a gangster will break down. They won't be as gangster as you thought. You over there throwing up blood and crip signs. Your grandma come in there, Cleophas, come here. Watch how fast Cleophas get over to his grandmother. You ain't no gangster no more. Now you're Cleo.
Yeah, a lot of people. I feel like when they try to like a lot of women they try to do the independent thing, because the fathers may leave or something like that, and they try to do like there's the whole thing with the independent, strong women and stuff like that. But I mean, a lot of times your child does need some sort of male figure in his life. Like he does need. That's not to say that the mother isn't important. The father and like a father figure is just as important because
The father steps out the picture. God is right there to help you guide your children, help the mother guide their children to the right direction. Like I said, I was raised by a single parent, so I knew it had to only be God for her to get us out of where we've been, and we've been in some crazy places. But I knew if we probably would have made, we wouldn't have made it out. I wouldn't even say probably, we wouldn't have made it out of where we were. And that's a lot of things that people take for granted. Like even if your mother, like I said, even if your mother is not Christian and you're raised by a grandmother, don't take your grandmother for granted. Because that grandmother, for one, already been here long enough to realize and know what you're about to go through in life anyway. So she's going to teach you. Your mother already knows what you're about to go through in life. So she's going to try to guide you and get you away from it. But it's up to you to actually realize and understand and give your mother that credit and, listen and take heed to what she's trying to say. Because, like, this is where the village mentality come from. When they're giving you that advice and you don't know how to apply it to your life like how you should, advice is going to always come back around. That's what I realized about this world. I've heard plenty of times people say, watch how you talk to people. You're going to hear that every day. And that's one thing your mother always bring up, watch your mouth. That's the first thing they'll say, watch your mouth, watch your tone. Because how you talk to people is, that's basically how you feel at the time. I like to make sure if I'm talking to somebody, I'm happy and jovial. That's what my mother told me. Just be happy when you're talking to people. You don't have to always have a full conversation. Just be happy. Because you could just walk around here and nobody talk to you. But if you don't actually take heed and listen to that advice that your mother give you, you're gonna fall short. And that's that village mentality. Everybody has to play that mother and father role. Like I said, when somebody steps out, another person steps in. When your grandmother steps in for your mother, she's taking that village mentality. It takes a village to raise a child. But we wouldn't know that if we don't apply it.
that goes like what you were just saying with the that goes along with first impressions, like the way you speak to people.
Mm,
If you meeting somebody and the first time that you're meeting somebody, you're being like real disrespectful to them and stuff like that, and you're just talking in a negative tone. That's a bad first impression that you don't want to leave. You don't want to leave a bad first impression with somebody because my grandma said that that's something you can't get back, a first impression. So you gotta you gotta make a good impression on people the first time you meet them, so that when they remember you, they're always like that young man. He's a decent young man. He's very polite. He's mannerable. He honors his elders and stuff like that. Like you want people to remember you as being respectful. You don't want them to say something like that young man. He was real disrespectful when I first met him, but eventually he came around. See, they shouldn't even have to say that about you. They should just be able to say that ever since the day I met you, he was he was an upright young man. He was very respectful, very mannerable, and that's like traits that you learn from your mother. So that's.
And crazy thing about that, as soon as you said first impression, the first thing that popped in my mind was, who is your biggest supporter? when you're trying to make the first impression on doing anything, it's your mother. Your father going. I can tell you the best words your father will give you. Go out there and kill it. Whatever you do, the best word your father will give you is go out there and kill it. Your mother is gonna sit down. Hey, make sure you talk like this. Make sure you say these things. Make sure making you putting yourself in the right avenues to further on your career. That's what a mother is gonna do. She's gonna give you that insight of how you can get there. A lot of people don't realize these big corporates are run by a lot of females because they took the time and realized that first impression made a big statement. And you making the first impression, I can promise you your mother gonna make you real spiffy. Graduation ceremonies, moving on ceremonies, your mother is gonna make sure you look right. All your clothes is gonna be creased, shoes is gonna be pressed, crisp, fresh out the box. You're gonna look like a brand new man messing around with your mom. But that's a mother's love. They want you to feel like you're important. You're something in this world. Even if you may not think that you are something, you may not feel like you're doing anything or you're making a big impact on the world. Your mother is gonna always remind you that you are somebody. You are something in this world. This world has nothing to offer you that you can't go get yourself. So it's not like we out here just looking fool. No, your mother's been here guiding you. Even your grandmother's been here guiding you. Those that long time ago, they got here by guiding us. Women didn't have the right to vote. Now women have a whole busload of people that's ready to vote. Hey, they Barack Obama got in the place. What else?
Yeah, yeah. People like Barack Obama, I'm sure he has like good mother. His mother had good leadership when raising him and stuff like that. Because if he wasn't raised right, he wouldn't be able to be first black president. You wouldn't be able to have people like Tyler Perry. If it wasn't for his mother, he talks about his mother all the time and how she raised him right because his father didn't do right or whatever, and his mother was a great impact on him, and he promised his mom that when he got like to where he wanted to be in life, he was going to repay her for what she did, and he did that before she passed on. He made sure that she was taken care of, and that's like a goal of mine. I have to repay my mother for what she did. I have to pay both my parents because a lot of people don't have both their parents, and I feel like I'm somewhat fortunate to have both my parents in my life, and that's very important in the world right now. And a lot of the times that we take our mothers for granted, which is I've seen like movies and stuff like that. I never seen it in real life, but I see like movies where kids are disrespectful to their mothers, which I don't understand. Like little kids are real disrespectful to their mothers. Like I don't understand that. 'Cause if I had little kids, they would get beatings. Like I can't stand that. Like I don't like when kids are disrespectful to like I don't like seeing kids be disrespectful to like their parents or to like teachers in school, stuff like that. I don't like seeing kids disrespect elders, and that's like irritating to me. I don't know why.
That's our village mentality. That right there explains the village breaking down by itself. Period. Because if they had the respect and had the manners to respect the elders and the teachers and all that stuff, the village could have just stepped in right there. Hey, your mom ain't did it, but I'm gonna teach you. Hey, you watch them out, mind your manners. Remember, they still older than you. They the one guiding you. They already got their degree, like teachers always say. We already got our degree. We trying to help you get yours. So just like that, that's that village mentality. When the village break down, who was there to tell a child you got to be mindful and be manifold of what you do? You gotta watch what you say because what you say may hurt somebody. If you don't have that village mentality, it's going to easily break down the child's life. So that's why I say you gotta have that village. Without that village, society breaks down.
Take our mothers for granted, which is.
But that's why you also gotta look at how the kids are being raised now. This generation now, I do realize looking at these kids now, a lot of this generation is lax with raising kids. What I mean by that, like how we used to get beatings back in the day, it's no way close to what y'all get. Now y'all probably get spankings and timeouts and things, but back then we get half killed. and they what they call abuse now, we was getting that back then. So people don't realize like that's what made us back then. We knew. Well, I'm not gonna speak for everybody. I'm gonna speak for me. Me personally, I didn't like beatings. I remember one time, and this is the crazy time. This is when I realized me and beatings did not get along. Period. I remember I was supposed to go to summer school, and I wanted to go to summer school at the beginning of the summer, but came time for the middle. I just said, "Bump summer school. I'm not going no more." My mama made sure, like every morning, hey, make sure you get on that bus to go to summer school. You wanted to go, you gonna go. So I was like, man, whatever. I'm not going. I'm thinking in my head, the egg will count against me. I just wanted to go, just to go. No. I decided to stay home one day, sitting around eating cereal in my t-shirt and my drawers. Yeah, I was doing that back then. I decided to sit around eating t-shirt and eat my cereal, just eating, watching cartoons. Next thing I know, who popped in the door? But Wandling Jenkins. Mad. The school done called saying I ain't been to summer school in over 2 weeks. Yeah, I had.
What you doing for 2 weeks?
Nothing. It was summertime. I wasn't about to go to school. I told you I wanted to go. But back to the story. It was like, and my mother was so mad. A couple weeks prior, I had broken the side railing off the bathroom door wall. I broke in the door so I can get in the bathroom, and it broke off a piece of board. Oh man, sometimes I laugh at the story. She went in the bathroom. I'm thinking she just going in the bathroom, use the bathroom, and go out. No, she didn't grab the whole board. She told me to come here. I started running. I took off. I didn't stay. I took off. And my mother had this big circle table with a glass in it. And I'm thinking, all right, if I can get around this table, she ain't gonna catch me. God made it so good. I guess he slid the table over, and I tripped over it and landed on the couch. And somehow she was right behind me. That same board, she broke in 5 pieces on me. Like I said, what y'all think is abuse is what they call love with us. And we realized it was love because I realized I wasn't getting no more beatings. And now I had plenty after that. That was love because I realized that at that moment, she cared about my education enough for me to get cutting behind it. And I didn't even have to go. That was something I wanted to do.
I wouldn't have been able to see that as no love. You just breaking pieces of board across me. That ain't no love.
The story is, I wanted to go. This is not something that I had to do. Like I said, I didn't have to go to summer school. I wanted to go to summer school.
Exactly.
But because I wanted to, she supported me for that. Because I wanted to have a little something extra on my education. I wanted to learn a little extra. She supported me for that. She pushed me to do that. But because I decided to get lazy, she decided to, hey, all right, time to get you back in line now. You starting to step out and do your own thing. Now it's time for me to Mama Bear to get back in here and put you right back in line, get you right back on task. And from that day on, I didn't miss a day of summer school. Passed it with flying colors.
I don't know if I can relate to Nick on this one. I've never had no experience like that where I just got boards broken across me for summer school. I don't know. I don't remember the last beating I got, because I just do what I'm supposed to do, because that's how you make it in life. Do what you're told, I don't know.
Do what you're told.
Yeah, just do what you're told, only bad kids get beatings, Hey, hey, I ain't never had no board broken across me. That's all I'm saying. I would not see that as love. I don't see how y'all get that.
Like I said, now y'all see it as abuse. It's different from that was when I was 10, 11. That was over 17 years ago.
Little.
Like I said, it's a difference from how y'all see love now. Back then, that was love. We knew they weren't trying to kill us. We didn't like it, but they weren't trying to kill us. Now it's like the parents want to be friends and buddies with the kids. Why? Ain't no friendship in my household. Not one of my kids can say that we're friends.
There's a lack of discipline in today's children, which is very, 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 very sad because that's one of the things that are most important, especially in today's society. You gotta have some type of discipline when going out into the real world because when real world problems come at you, you're not gonna have no discipline. If you don't have no discipline, when real world things happen to you and stuff that happens in the real world is happening to you, then what? You just stuck. You know, you're not gonna know how to handle it. You know, when you got that kind of stuff coming at you, like bills and stuff like that, and you don't know how to handle it. You don't have no self discipline or nothing like that. You just gonna be a messed up individual. Discipline is needed. I wouldn't say heartbreaking or anything like that. Just discipline. Told what to do.
I doubt they would do that
A
now.
firm foot. You know.
I shout out to my mother for that board breaking on me. I appreciate it. It got me in line. I finished school, graduated. I didn't get cum laude, none of that. But I was in there. Summa cum, I don't know, valedictorian, summa cum laude, and all them. I don't know. But we thank y'all for tuning in. This has been the Mother's Day show of the Lions Den with Brother Darius Moon and myself, Deacon Travis Jenkins. We appreciate y'all. And if you don't have a church family or you don't have a church to go to, you can always tune into our live with TFOM. We'll be streaming live our Sunday school in just a minute. We'll also be streaming live around 10 o'clock, 10:15. We'll be screening our second Sunday fellowship that we always do. Anything else on the docket?
I think Tuesday night Bible study, which will also be live for. We have our test that we have been studying so hard for.
Yes.
All I know is if Deke passed this one, somebody cheating. because we've been doing this thing since January, and if Deke just come and knock it out the water, he's been cheating. That's all I got to say. We should all at least fail. Not fail. We should all at least have a C.
No, we shouldn't.
Should nobody have no A's on this one now?
Watch me.
Because this is something else. If we've been studying this thing for 4 months, and y'all just come and knock it out the water, we had like weeks of notes. And
so you just put yourself in trouble. We had weeks of notes. So why can't you knock it out the water?
Because
anyway, we thank y'all for tuning in to the Lions Den. Y'all have a blessed day, and like we always say, go to church.